A blaring news alert interrupted the feeds of millions. Asterisk, Elon Musk plans to buy Instagram. Asterisk, within minutes, the world erupted. On Twitter, the hashtag Musk buys Instagram started trending. Speculation ran wild. Was it real? Was it a joke? Did Musk really want to acquire a platform he once mocked? Tech journalists were in a frenzy, scrambling for any statement from Meta. Instagram users were equally divided, some thrilled by the prospect of Musk's unpredictable leadership, while others panicked about what it might mean for their beloved app. In Menlo Park, Mark Zuckerberg sat at his massive desk, face unreadable as the news blared across his monitors. His office was eerily quiet, save for the sound of his fingers drumming on the table. The weight of the moment wasn't lost on him. Musk had done the unthinkable. He'd thrown a gauntlet at Zuckerberg's empire. For the first time in years, Zuckerberg felt uncertain. What was Musk after? Why Instagram? The public couldn't wait for Zuckerberg's reaction. Analysts were already theorizing whether this would lead to a hostile takeover. Musk's business empire, spanning Tesla, SpaceX, and the newly rebranded X, formerly Twitter, was vast. Could he really pull this off? But Zuckerberg didn't react immediately. He knew better than to make rash decisions. The world was watching, waiting for him to show his cards. Outside, the storm of speculation continued to rage. Inside Meta, though, the real battle was just beginning. The next morning, Mark Zuckerberg called for an urgent meeting at Meta's headquarters. The news of Musk's Instagram bid had already sent tremors through the company, and it was time to assess the situation. His top executives filed into the sleek, glass-walled conference room, their faces tense, awaiting the next move from their CEO. Zuckerberg sat at the head of the table, his face stone-cold as usual. He didn't utter a word at first. Instead, he simply let the silence stretch, his fingers drumming rhythmically on the table as he stared at the large screen displaying Musk's latest announcement. He had already heard it all. The speculation, the gossip, the wild theories. But none of it mattered yet. After a long pause, he finally spoke. We need to understand what he's after. His voice was calm, but there was a sharpness to it, the kind that could slice through the tension in the room. Data analysts quickly scrambled to present reports on Musk's past ventures, his business strategies, and anything that might explain his sudden interest in Instagram. The room hummed with activity, but Zuckerberg remained quiet, watching it all unfold like a chess player preparing for the next move. Could this just be a bluff? One of the analysts asked, tapping away at his laptop. Could be, Zuckerberg replied, but he doesn't bluff. Musk plays to win. We need to consider that this is a real attempt. What does he gain from Instagram? No one spoke for a moment. Musk's business model was unconventional, even by Silicon Valley standards. But Zuckerberg's instincts told him this was no ordinary acquisition. This wasn't about controlling a social media platform. This was a power play. We can't afford to assume he's just trolling. Not this time, Zuckerberg added, his tone colder now. We need counter-strategies. Executives exchanged nervous glances. They were used to dealing with competitors, but this was different. Musk didn't just compete, he disrupted. And Zuckerberg knew that if Musk set his sights on Instagram, he wasn't going to stop until he got it. He leaned forward. Gather the teams. I want a deep dive into Musk's operations. We need to know his next move, his motives, everything. And we need to prepare. If he wants Instagram, we'll make him work for it. The meeting ended with an unspoken understanding. Zuckerberg was on the defensive now. His calm exterior masked the fire burning beneath. Musk had made the first move, and Zuckerberg wasn't about to let his empire fall without a fight. The game had changed. As the executives filed out of the room, one of them dared to ask, "What about a public statement? Should we address the press?" Zuckerberg didn't hesitate. Not yet. Let's keep them guessing. It didn't take long for Musk to fan the flames. Just a few hours after the dust from the initial news had settled, Musk tweeted something that left the tech world even more puzzled. Asterisk, Instagram needs a new owner. Asterisk, the tweet was simple. In fact, it was almost too simple. Musk's words carried the weight of a declaration, and within seconds, millions of likes and retweets flooded in. His followers, already accustomed to his erratic online presence, were quick to weigh in. Some joked about the idea of Musk adding a dislike button, as if this was just another one of his usual trolling antics. Others wondered aloud if this was a subtle nudge to Zuckerberg. If you won't sell, I'll come and take it anyway. But no one could deny the growing tension in the air. Musk's unpredictability was becoming a weapon, and the world didn't know whether to laugh or to fear. On Twitter, the reactions were mixed. Some were excited at the prospect of Musk owning Instagram, seeing it as a chance for innovation or even chaos in a platform that many had grown to resent for its algorithmic manipulation. Others feared for the future of their beloved app, suspecting that Musk would throw all the privacy rules out the window or turn Instagram into some bizarre extension of his X platform. Zuckerberg, on the other hand, stayed silent. He stared at the tweet on his phone screen for what felt like an eternity. In Meta's war room, the mood was tense. Executives were starting to get anxious. Was this just a joke? Or was Musk making a real push for power? Zuckerberg had anticipated Musk's next move would involve something provocative, but this felt different. It was a direct challenge to his authority, an invitation for the world to pick sides. Musk was playing mind games, and Zuckerberg wasn't sure how much longer he could keep playing his usual calm, calculated game. Is it a threat? Someone asked from across the table. Zuckerberg's eyes narrowed. Musk doesn't make idle threats. He doesn't need to. He's always one step ahead. One of the analysts spoke up, his voice hesitant. If he's serious about this, he could be trying to leverage his other companies, X, Tesla, even Starlink, to push Meta into a corner. Zuckerberg nodded slowly, processing the implications. Yes, that's why we need to stay ahead of him. He's unpredictable, but we can't afford to be reactive. We need to control the narrative. Should we counter with a statement? Another executive suggested. No, not yet. We don't know his endgame. Zuckerberg's voice was firm. Let him make his next move. We'll make ours after. The tension in the room was palpable. The chessboard had been set, but neither side was ready to make the first aggressive move. Musk's tweet had sent shockwaves through the digital world, but for now, Zuckerberg held his ground. The game was far from over, but it was clear that Musk wasn't playing by anyone's rules but his own. In the midst of the digital storm, Zuckerberg allowed himself a brief moment of reflection. Musk had made it personal, and that could mean only one thing. This battle was only just beginning. The news hit Meta's trading floor before it reached the morning news cycle. Meta's stock had dipped just slightly at first, but it was enough to stir concern. Analysts pointed to the sudden volatility as a direct result of Elon Musk's escalating comments about acquiring Instagram. Investors were beginning to question whether Zuckerberg had control of his empire. Inside Meta's headquarters, the atmosphere had shifted. No longer was the debate about Musk's intentions. It had become a matter of survival. Zuckerberg knew that while the dip wasn't catastrophic yet, it could spiral quickly if the public lost confidence. He had to act before things got worse. In an emergency meeting with his closest advisors, Zuckerberg delivered his first official response. "We're going to put out a statement," he said, his voice flat but commanding. "Let the world know we're not selling Instagram. It's a core part of Meta's vision. No one is taking it from us." The room nodded, though the unease was still evident. The statement was a strategic one, carefully crafted to calm the markets, reassure the public, and assert Meta's strength. It was the kind of PR move Zuckerberg had made countless times before, but this time, the weight of the situation was heavier. Minutes later, Meta released a terse, official statement. Asterisk, Instagram remains a central pillar of Meta's long-term strategy. We have no plans to sell the platform, and we are fully committed to our vision of connecting people and building community. Asterisk, the response was measured, almost cold. Zuckerberg hoped that would be enough to quell any fears. But deep down, he knew it wouldn't be that simple. Outside, The world was watching, dissecting every word, every gesture. And Musk? He didn't say a word in response. As usual, he was silent. But his silence was just as powerful as his words, and the internet buzzed with theories. Was this the calm before the storm? Or had Zuckerberg's statement caught him off guard? Meta stock bounced back slightly, but the uncertainty lingered in the air. The battle for control of Instagram had begun, and Zuckerberg knew it would take more than a single statement to hold the line. This wasn't just a fight over a platform. It was a war for the future of social media. And Musk had already proven that he wasn't afraid to play dirty. In his office, Zuckerberg stared out at the sprawling campus. He wasn't known for being impulsive, but something about Musk's challenge had unnerved him. The chessboard was set, and every move from here on out would be critical. Zuckerberg had made his first play, but the game was far from over. "Get the teams ready," he said, standing up. "If Musk wants a fight, he'll get one." The day after Meta's official statement, the digital world seemed to hold its breath, waiting for Elon Musk's next move. For once, the silence from Musk's Twitter account was deafening. But then, in a calm interview on a financial news channel, Musk made an offhand comment that sent shockwaves through the industry. "If Meta won't sell," Musk said with a smirk, "I have other ways." The phrase hung in the air like a threat, laced with casual confidence. Musk had always been a master of leaving his words open to interpretation. Was this an idle comment, or was he signaling something far more aggressive? Zuckerberg's reaction was immediate. The moment the interview aired, his phone buzzed with texts from his top executives, each asking the same question. What does he mean by that? The analysts at Meta were quick to speculate. Musk could be gearing up for a hostile takeover, one suggested. He has the capital and the resources, and his track record suggests he wouldn't hesitate to make a bold move. Another analyst raised a different possibility. Musk could use his other companies, Tesla, X, even Starlink, to force Meta's hand. He's not just a tech CEO. He's a disruptor. If he wanted to, he could turn this into a full-blown battle of ecosystems. Zuckerberg took all of this in stride. He had already anticipated that Musk wasn't going to play by the rules, but hearing it spoken aloud made it real. Musk wasn't just making noise anymore. He was gearing up for war. In the high-tech war room of Meta's headquarters, Zuckerberg gathered his senior team. His demeanor was steely, unflinching, but the weight of the moment was undeniable. This wasn't the kind of opponent you could ignore. If Musk had truly set his sights on Instagram, he would be relentless. "What are we facing here?" Zuckerberg asked. One of his advisors spoke up cautiously. "A hostile takeover seems likely. Musk has the resources to leverage, especially with X and Tesla in the mix. He could also try to split Meta's attention, make it harder for us to act decisively." Zuckerberg nodded, his face expressionless. "What's our counter?" "Start thinking outside the box," his chief strategy officer replied. "Musk won't just use traditional methods. He'll bring in X's infrastructure, even Tesla's data, and who knows what else. We need to consider new ways to protect Meta and our platforms." Another executive added, "What about moving faster on the AI front? Push forward with new, next-gen features on Instagram and WhatsApp. Musk has always been obsessed with disruption. We could beat him at his own game by making our platforms unassailable." Zuckerberg thought for a moment, his fingers tapping out a slow rhythm on the table. "We need to focus on offense. We'll invest heavily in AI-driven social media innovation. Make Instagram more indispensable to users than ever before. If Musk thinks he can just waltz in and take over, he's got another thing coming." It was clear now that Musk wasn't just playing mind games. He had a plan, and Zuckerberg had to admit, he was impressed. Musk was relentless, and he was willing to pull every string at his disposal. But Zuckerberg wasn't one to be intimidated. He had built Meta into a global powerhouse by anticipating moves before they happened. As the team dispersed to carry out their new directives, Zuckerberg remained at the table, staring at the financial reports on his screen. Musk had laid down the gauntlet, but Zuckerberg wasn't about to back down. In fact, He was more determined than ever. The next step would be crucial. If Musk wanted Instagram, he would have to fight for it, and Zuckerberg was ready to make sure it wouldn't come easy. The tension in the air was palpable as the battle for Instagram's future intensified. Musk's comments had shifted the narrative from speculation to strategy. With each new word, each move, it was clear that he was intent on making Meta squirm. But Zuckerberg, ever the tactician, refused to be cornered. Behind closed doors, Meta's teams went into overdrive. Analysts, engineers, and developers were brought together for an all-out offensive. Zuckerberg had given the green light for something big, something disruptive of their own. The first whispers of a counterstrike began to circulate within the company. Data leaked, and rumors started to spread. The world wasn't quite sure what Zuckerberg was planning, but they could feel it coming. An innovation so bold, it might just shift the entire balance of power. In a strategic meeting with his core team, Zuckerberg laid it out clearly. Meta would double down on AI-driven social media enhancements, making Instagram not just a social media platform, but a hub for personalized, adaptive digital experiences. It would be the future of social interaction. A fully AI-powered Instagram with predictive features, real-time content generation, and enhanced user engagement that Musk couldn't easily replicate. Instagram needs to be so much more than it is today, Zuckerberg said, his voice intense. We need to use AI to make it the most personalized, immersive platform in the world. If Musk thinks he can disrupt us by throwing money around, he's forgetting one thing. Meta doesn't just connect people, we understand people. Let's take that to the next level. It was clear that Zuckerberg wasn't just reacting to Musk's moves. He was counteracting them with a plan of his own. Instagram AI-driven updates were quickly put into motion. New algorithms would analyze user behavior to create content that wasn't just curated, but predictive. Users would be able to interact with personalized features that adapted to their mood, needs, and preferences. Stories would evolve into fully interactive experiences powered by cutting-edge machine learning. Even Instagram's messaging app, WhatsApp, would be infused with AI to help streamline communication, offer smart replies, and predict upcoming conversations based on context. The updates were radical, and they weren't just meant to improve Instagram. They were designed to make it indispensable. Behind the scenes, Zuckerberg worked closely with his top engineers and data scientists, pushing them to create a product that could leave Musk's maneuvers in the dust. There were discussions of integrating virtual reality features that would allow users to explore Instagram in a completely new way, immersive, real-time, and entirely AI-driven. Meta's communications team prepared a carefully crafted message, with the new Instagram features set to be unveiled in an exclusive live stream. The company wasn't going to just wait for Musk to make his next move. They were taking the initiative. But there was something even more daring. Zuckerberg knew that if he wanted to keep the upper hand, he couldn't let Musk dictate the narrative. As his engineers worked, Zuckerberg made an unexpected move. He would appear on a special live Q&A event to preview Meta's upcoming revolutionary update. It would be a bold, public declaration of Meta's direction and a direct challenge to Musk's tactics. The announcement was timed perfectly. With Musk's silence hanging over the industry, Zuckerberg's upcoming reveal would generate waves of its own. Musk had been the disruptor, but Zuckerberg planned to show the world that Meta was the one setting the stage for the future. Back at Meta's headquarters, everyone was on edge. Rumors were running rampant that Zuckerberg was about to unleash something that would change everything. People speculated about potential new tech, perhaps a virtual version of Instagram, or some kind of integration with Meta's long-rumored AR glasses. But no one knew exactly what Zuckerberg was planning to unveil. The countdown to the live event began. The world was waiting, not just for Musk to react, but for Zuckerberg to show that Meta wasn't going to be pushed around. It was a risky play, but if Zuckerberg could pull it off, it would shift the conversation entirely. Zuckerberg leaned back in his chair, watching the live stream countdown on his monitor. He didn't speak a word. In his eyes, there was no doubt. Asterisk, asterisk, this was the moment. Asterisk, asterisk, Musk had thrown down the gauntlet. But Zuckerberg was about to flip the board. The day of the live-streamed event arrived, and the digital world buzzed with anticipation. The tech industry had been on edge for weeks, ever since Musk's initial announcement. Now, Zuckerberg was about to go on the offensive, but this time it wasn't just about Instagram. It was a clash of visions. The stakes were higher than ever before. Meta had promised a revolutionary update to Instagram, and everyone was eager to see what Zuckerberg had in store. But the true drama lay not just in the update itself, but in the format. The event was being billed as a live-stream debate between the two tech giants, **** Mark Zuckerberg versus Elon Musk. The future of social media, ****. The stage was set for a showdown like no other. Zuckerberg appeared first on screen, dressed in his usual minimalist attire, a hoodie, unassuming and confident, sitting in front of a clean, tech-heavy background. His expression was calm, but there was an unmistakable tension in his eyes. He wasn't just here to promote a product. He was here to defend Meta's legacy and vision. The stream began with Zuckerberg outlining Meta's new AI-driven features. He spoke about the importance of personalization, how Instagram would adapt to users' ever-changing needs, and how AI would create a more dynamic, immersive experience. The new Instagram was going to be a place where content wasn't just curated, it was predicted. The AI updates would make the platform smarter, faster, and more engaging. For Zuckerberg, this was the next evolution of social media, a space where people connected more authentically. But as he finished outlining Meta's strategy, the screen flickered for a moment and the audience's attention shifted. Elon Musk was live. Musk appeared on screen, leaning back in his chair with his signature nonchalant grin. He was wearing a simple black t-shirt, his face illuminated by the glow of a dimly lit room. His eyes sparkled with mischief as he addressed the viewers, not bothering to follow any formal script. "Zuck," he said, his voice playful but carrying a challenge. "You've done some cool things with Instagram, but here's the thing. Social media shouldn't be about algorithms deciding what we see, who we talk to, or what we want to buy. It's supposed to be free, a space for people to interact without being constantly manipulated by machine learning." The tension in the virtual room was palpable. Musk's words were sharp, aimed directly at Zuckerberg's carefully constructed vision. Musk was attacking not just the product, but the very philosophy behind it. His vision was one of freedom, openness, and user autonomy, while Zuckerberg's vision was rooted in AI-driven precision and data. Zuckerberg responded coolly, leaning forward slightly, his voice steady but with an underlying edge. "Elon, people want the best experience possible. They don't just want social media. They want personalized, meaningful interactions. Instagram can't afford to stay stagnant in a world where everything else is evolving. If we don't push forward with AI, someone else will. And trust me, we're not afraid to lead that charge." The two giants traded barbs back and forth, their digital confrontation unfolding like a high-stakes chess match. Zuckerberg defended his belief that AI was the future of social media, emphasizing how it could connect people in ways that were previously unimaginable. Musk, on the other hand, took every opportunity to challenge the very notion of control, advocating for a decentralized approach and criticizing the way tech giants like Meta were capitalizing on users' data. As the debate continued, the real battle emerged, not just over Instagram, but over the future of digital interaction. Musk argued that the future of social media should be built on freedom and transparency, calling out the monopolistic tendencies of platforms like Instagram. "We need something better," Musk said, with a hint of defiance in his voice. "Social media should be built on open-source principles. People should own their data, and platforms should foster actual connections, not just push ads." Zuckerberg's response was as calculated as ever. People deserve to have a platform that works for them. That's what Meta is all about. We're not just collecting data for the sake of it. We're creating experiences that make people's lives better. The tools we build give people control, and our AI gives them something more, not just content, but true connection. By the end of the debate, the viewers were split. Some saw Zuckerberg as the pragmatic visionary, focused on progress and innovation, while others rallied behind Musk's call for freedom and transparency. The tech world was divided, and both men knew it. But even as the debate concluded, the larger battle was far from over. Musk's tweet from earlier still hung over the event like a shadow. While Zuckerberg's defense of Meta's future had been strong, Musk's cryptic statements and underlying message were far from resolved. As the live stream ended, Musk dropped another bombshell on Twitter. Asterisk fine. I'll just build a better one. Asterisk. The message was as cryptic as it was simple. Rumors began to swirl almost immediately. Was Musk planning a new social platform? Could he truly build something to rival Instagram? The speculation began in earnest, with investors, users, and analysts all wondering what Musk's next move would be. Zuckerberg, though victorious in the debate, knew that this wasn't over. Musk's challenge had only grown more serious, and now it was clear. The battle for digital dominance had reached a new, more dangerous phase. The world would be watching. The aftermath of the debate left the tech world in a whirlwind. Media outlets dissected every word, every gesture, every glance between the two titans of Silicon Valley. Zuckerberg had held his ground, confidently defending Meta's vision for the future of social media. Musk, however, had left everyone guessing, offering tantalizing hints of something bigger and more disruptive on the horizon. And then, just when it seemed like the dust was beginning to settle, Musk dropped another bombshell. In a tweet that came just hours after the debate ended, he casually stated, asterisk fine, I'll just build a better one. Asterisk, the internet exploded. Tech blogs erupted with speculation. Was Musk serious? Was he really planning to launch a new social media platform to compete with Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter? His followers went wild, with many cheering the idea of a new, Musk-driven platform. Others, however, wondered if this was just another one of his games, a way to rattle Zuckerberg and create more headlines. For Zuckerberg, the tweet was a stark reminder that Musk wasn't one to bluff. This wasn't just some empty threat. Musk was a man who followed through. Zuckerberg sat in his office at Meta headquarters, looking at the tweet on his screen. He wasn't rattled, not outwardly anyway. He'd known from the beginning that Musk's tactics were unpredictable. But now, it was clear that Musk wasn't going to stop until he had his own piece of the social media pie. The question was, what was Musk really planning? Zuckerberg turned away from the screen and called for another meeting. This time, it wasn't just about countering Musk's latest comments or updating Instagram's AI-driven features. This was about preparing for the next phase of the battle, a phase where Musk's new social media platform might be a reality. What are the chances that Musk can pull this off? Zuckerberg asked his leadership team. There was a brief pause before one of the analysts spoke up. It's hard to say. He has the resources, the fan base, and the appetite for disruption. But building a social media platform isn't like launching a new product. He'd need infrastructure, data, user engagement, and a whole lot of buy-in from users who are already deeply embedded in Instagram and Twitter. True, Zuckerberg said, tapping his fingers on the table. But we can't afford to underestimate him. If Musk really does have a plan, it's not going to be traditional. It could be radical. Another executive chimed in. The real issue is timing. If he moves quickly, it could cause a real shift. If users start flocking to his platform, even with a small core group of early adopters, that's a powerful signal. Zuckerberg's expression hardened. He didn't want to let Musk win the PR battle. Meta's next steps would need to be fast, bold, and far-reaching. They had to ensure that Instagram and Meta as a whole remained ahead of the curve. Let's accelerate our plans. We keep moving forward with AI and machine learning, but let's also make sure we're engaging the developers, the creators, the brands. Instagram needs to be a place where people feel at home and where they can't even imagine leaving. Musk might be launching something new, but that doesn't mean the world will switch overnight. We need to solidify our base. The meeting ended with a clear directive. Meta was going on the offensive. They would speed up their development, integrate even more immersive technology, and ensure that Instagram's community felt more indispensable than ever before. But as Zuckerberg's team got to work, he couldn't shake the thought that Musk's challenge had only just begun. He knew that Musk would play this game to the fullest. But Zuckerberg was no stranger to competition. He'd faced critics, competitors, and challenges before, and he always found a way to come out on top. As the days passed, rumors continued to swirl around Musk's intentions. Could he really launch a new social platform that could rival Instagram? Investors watched nervously, unsure of where to place their bets. Musk's silence was as loud as ever, but the speculation continued to grow. Finally, word broke. Musk's new platform was in development. No one knew exactly what it would look like, but insiders suggested that Musk wasn't just looking to build a new social media site. He was planning to overhaul the entire concept of digital interaction. The platform was rumored to be based on decentralized principles, offering users full control over their data and even creating a new ecosystem of digital currencies. Zuckerberg's mind raced as he processed this new information. Musk wasn't just attacking Instagram. He was attacking the entire way social media operated. Meta had fought back. They defended their turf, unveiled groundbreaking features, and stood strong against Musk's provocations. But the truth was clear now. The battle wasn't just about Instagram anymore. It was a war for the future of how humans interacted online. And both Zuckerberg and Musk knew that this conflict would define the next era of the digital age. Zuckerberg stared out of his office window, deep in thought. The game had shifted, and Musk's next move would likely be the most unpredictable of all. One thing was for sure. The battle for digital dominance had only just begun.